Long Island citizens gather once again to protest Obamacare, cap and trade, and the socialist direction they perceive our government is taking the country. This is the first rally on Long Island since the historic 9/12 Tea Party in Washington, D.C., which many of these protesters attended. Their commitment and determination continues as they seek to get their message out that the present administration in Washington has gone too far, and they will be silent no more. Hi, sir. Notice your flag and sign?
Yes, how you doing?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
So you're here in Holbrook after the D.C. rally. Were you at that rally?
Unfortunately, I missed it, but I was there in spirit.
You were there in spirit.
Spirit.
That's fine. A lot of people showed up.
Oh, I saw the photos. It was insane.
Yeah.
It had to be at least 1 million there.
Yeah, it looked that way to me. I was there. It looked. I couldn't. Everywhere you looked, there were people as far as the eye could see.
Absolutely. It was probably the biggest protest, in U.S. history?
I think it was the biggest protest since the Vietnam War against the government policies.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It was historic. There's no doubt about it. And it was kind of disgraceful that more news media outlets weren't there to cover it. But I guess that was intentional.
Yeah, they don't want to show people, showing the love for freedom and independence. They don't want, want people to look at that stuff.
Okay. Anyway, it looks like the Tea Parties are continuing here on Long Island. So why are you here today?
Well, I'm here, showing that I want to continue our freedom and our independence. And I just wanted to mention that one of the things I heard the president say a few times is that he was going to, if his health care reform bill passes, he's going to cut, I believe he said $500 billion out of the Medicare by just going to cut out the fraud and waste. If he's going to cut out the fraud and waste, why doesn't he do it now instead of waiting until his bill passes? If he is able to cut it now, like I said, I don't understand why we have to wait to pass his bill to cut it. And the other argument to that is, if there's $500 billion in fraud and waste in Medicare, isn't that run by the government? So we're going to cut government spending in Medicare and increase it in the HR 3200 bill. So I'm kind of confused with that.
Right. If they could find $500 billion in inefficiencies in a government-run program like Medicare, we're supposed to turn over the entire health system to the government. Doesn't really make much sense, does it?
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. So that's one of the main reasons you're here today, then, right? To protest the Obamacare and the whole idea of government takeover of the healthcare system.
Yeah, it's the healthcare and the other things. I have my sign here. It's the cap and trade and tax. The government cars, the government banks. And recently I heard that they passed the bill. I'm not sure if they actually passed it, but there's a bill that they're going to take over. I don't know if it's 100%, but I believe it's 90% at least of all student loans. So now the government's going to be in charge of who gets student loans and who doesn't. I don't know. It's kind of scary.
There doesn't seem to be any end to the intrusion the government wants to make into the private sector, does there?
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, thanks for coming, and I'm sure that a lot of people driving down this road, this busy part of Long Island, are going to be receiving your message. And I appreciate you having the courage to come out here and stand and take up your day on a Sunday to do this.
Thank you. No problem.
Very good. How you doing, sir? So you're here in Holbrook. What's your name? Where are you from?
John from Huntington.
From Huntington. Okay, so you came over here to Holbrook. That's a bit of ways. Did you make it to the D.C. rally?
Yeah, I was there. Yep.
Well, that must have taken a lot of determination and expense on your part to make it all the way there.
Well, Saturday's my day to sleep in late. I woke up at 3:30. So
couldn't think of anything better to do, huh? Okay. It couldn't have anything to do with Barack Obama's policies in government, could it?
Oh no, not at all. No, it's all about his policies in government. In fact,
your sign. Can you hold that up a little bit, sir? Will second opinions be deemed wasteful?
No, it's
well, they're being deemed racist right now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, Jimmy Carter. It's kind of disappointing coming from,
I mean, a former president. He's not a nobody. He was a former president of the United States. How do you feel about him calling people like you a racist?
I think he's pushed into doing it. I think he typically has more class than that. I don't know. Someone said, "Oh, it's a good strategy. Maybe we should throw you out under the bus and let you take a hit." And he did it. So, for whatever his thinking was, I can't say.
Oh, you think he's taking one for the party, then, huh?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he does.
That's pretty gracious of you to say that.
Well, he does good things, with his homes, homes for the homeless, and right. So, I'll cut him some slack. I'm not gonna.
Well, you sound like a compassionate racist, then.
Yeah, I guess so.
So Barack Obama's been on a media blitz this morning. He's been on on 5 different stations, except Fox, of course, pushing his health care program. But he doesn't give specifics. Does that bother you that he doesn't really give specifics?
Well, that's why I have a question on here. It's a specific question, and there are probably a million specific questions that you don't hear about. You hear him say, "Oh, yeah, sure, you can maybe keep your doctor," and then he's actually misinformed. He says, "Oh, you know, death panels," but it's in writing. So you can't, you know, he's either misinformed, he hasn't read the bill, he doesn't have his own bill. Darth Pelosi has a bill. And
Darth Pelosi.
Darth Pelosi.
Is she related to Darth Vader?
Distant cousins.
They have kindred spirits, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you see her crying the other day? She was crying worried about that the protests like this are going to spill over into violence, like she witnessed in the early '70s with that guy Milk, who got assassinated by another Democrat, by the way. But she left that part out. But she's worried about violence. You think her fears are sincere?
I think she's in a subtle way trying to incite violence. She wants violence to happen at our protests. She wants people to attack us so they can spin it,
she can point the finger,
and make it look like our protests are causing problems. But there were 2 million people, give or take, in D.C., and I could have stepped on everyone's toes in that place, and not one of them would have pushed back, or everyone would apologize. And it was
okay. You were there. Can you honestly tell us? Did you see any racist signs at all, or any racist comments?
No, I didn't see a lot of it. I wasn't looking for it, but
Right, but I know you weren't looking for it, but did anything jump out at you as racist?
I saw 1 or 2 swastikas, but...
Yeah, but is that considered racist, though?
No, it's in context, I think. If you just look at that, then, yeah, but in context of what the rest of the sign said, it's a legitimate cause of concern.
Right. I think those Nazi signs were indicating how the government is becoming kind of like totalitarian and abusive, like the Nazis, was.
Republic, right?
Right, socialistic, right, which is right, what the Nazis were, National Socialist Party, yeah. So
absolute power, that's what happens, and never thought we'd be repeating history from our side of it.
And do you recall all the inferences when Bush was president to him being like Hitler? They put mustaches on him. All. Oh, yeah. You didn't hear much complaint from the news media about that.
No, in fact, they promoted it. I mean, you haven't heard about really one death in Iraq or Afghanistan since Obama's been in. But Bush, it was a daily count.
Right, it was a daily body bag count, right.
If that happened in World War II, we would have got out a long time, and the Nazis would have been there, and this wouldn't be happening here. So,
thanks a lot for your comments. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.